Okay, so we are back with Dr. Mike Van Thielen. And Dr. Mike, thank you once again for taking time to be with us today. And we've got a great schedule here today talking about biohacking. So you obviously got a lot of experience with that. And when I look at your website and your business card, I see the tagline, Unleash Your Superpower. So starting off, do you want to go ahead and explain that?
Yes, Sean. I mean, uh, yeah, it's so important for people to realize this, right? I always ask, do you remember the superpower you wanted when you were a kid? The dreams about who you wanted to be? And we really believed, Sean, without any doubt in our mind that we could be that person, that we could have that superpower
Mhm.
until someone, most likely our parents, told us that's impossible. So most of us then settled for ordinary the rest of our lives. And some of us are as stubborn as I am, keep following their dreams and figuring out on how to make those happen. And so, people like us, Sean, we are, pursuing those dreams and goals with a relentless drive and passion, right?
Mhm.
And so I want to remind people, I even talked to my daughter about this morning in a certain situation. It's like, do not worry what your parents want you to do because they push you in certain directions because they want to live vicariously through you often. What other people want you to do, don't choose a job or don't go to law school or med school because it makes a good living. Ask yourself instead, what is your passion? What are your core values? Who do you want to become? Who do you want to be? And go for it. Even if you think, oh, that's not going to make me a living like an artist. If you're passionate about what you do, you will make a lot of money. The money just will follow. So
Mhm.
even people at our age, Sean, they still don't know where they fit in. And so you need to sit down and really figure out what your dreams and goals are because that sets the stage for everything,
Mhm.
right? And so you need to figure that out. You need to get passionate about what you do and just go for it. Everything else falls in place. So I want people remind them about the superpower they wanted and the superpower they're not pursuing today and encourage them to pick that back up, put the distractions inside, stop the projects you're doing that do not fit your dream and go for it.
Absolutely. And I love that because obviously you've got the passion and you're in the field that you love. So you can tell when somebody's really passionate about something that they do, that whole energy comes off. And that's honestly the kind of the grease that makes the wheel spin, so to speak, if you will.
Sure. I mean, if you love what you do, you're smiling, right? And you're not
That's right.
complaining too much. And again, don't worry about money. That will follow. If you follow your dreams and you do what you like, people will catch that fire and passion in you and follow you, and you will be just fine.
That's right. That's awesome. You encourage people to take the unfair advantage. What do you mean by that?
Yeah. I guess I took the unfair advantage when I decided to come from Belgium to America, right? Because
Mhm.
it was called the American Dream. I got my questions now, but that's material for another for another podcast. But it was the American Dream. So I grew up in Belgium. With my brother and just my mother, so it wasn't always easy. But she provided for us, and so then I went to university in Brussels. Luckily, going to school over there is far less expensive than here. So I
Mhm.
did private swim lessons and actually was a DJ to make money so I could afford it. But after all that, I saved $400, which was a lot for me then. $400, packed my backpack, and came here. For all the opportunities. And so, that's an example of I took the unfair advantage. I decided I wanted more out of life and I wanted to, go somewhere where there's no limits on what you can do and who you can be. So that's one unfair advantage. I just changed countries. The other one, I guess, I took, and there's many, but the other one I took in 2016 when I decided to apply myself again to swimming after a 22-year break. And so I took the unfair advantage and crushed the competition in the swimming pool, ended up with a world record in 2019, 2 YMCA national records, 31 US national titles, and I think 13 Belgian records, all within 3 years.
Wow.
And so, you really need to, no matter who you are, whether you're a Silicon Valley entrepreneur or whether you are a top athlete or whether you're just John Doe or somebody afflicted with a medical condition, everyone can choose to take that unfair advantage, and that's what I encourage people to do.
I mean, that's amazing. And that is, at the age, where ballpark, where were you age-wise? Not that I like, but you were
when I moved here 25, 26.
Yeah. So with all the swim records and all the achievements that you were doing, how did you do it?
Well, I get that question a lot. Well, first of all, I just made the decision I wanted to do it. And then, you have to make an action plan or a strategy. And that's what most people don't do. And if you don't make a plan, guess what? Nothing significant comes to fruition, right? And once you make the plan and a strategy, you got to surround yourself with a team of experts. Because by yourself, you never can reach your highest potential. And every athlete's got a trainer and a coach, right? So, and you need a lot more than that in order to accomplish what you want to accomplish. So action plan, strategy, a team of experts. And once you have all that, you just got to be relentless. You know there's going to be obstacles, but you're focusing on your dreams. So you're just going to attack those obstacles, just like the 110 meters hurdles, right? I mean, you know where the finish is. Oh, there's a hurdle. So what? Let's take it as fast as we can so we can get to the finish line versus like, oh, I can't do this. Oh, it's not meant to be. Oh, I'm the black sheep. No, there's your dream. You got to take some hurdles, attack them. No doubt, no wavering, nothing else matters. Just go for it. So when I decided to do that, I had to surround myself with a team of experts. So for example, in my case, and it could be for business, it doesn't have to be sports, anything in your life, whatever goal you want to achieve. But for my swimming, I got myself an experienced personal trainer in the gym that also was training other top athletes so I could maximize my workout in the gym. I had a seasoned swim coach that not only was experienced with kids, but also, masters, which is the fancy word for saying old guys, right? And then I had a mentor who taught me, worked on my mental strength, visualization, and manifesting. I actually had a personal assistant to offload some of my, regular daily work, and that personal assistant can be a person, can be a virtual assistant, can be an AI platform. I had a functional medicine doctor to monitor and optimize my nutrient profiles and my hormones, including my testosterone levels. I didn't hire a nutritionist because I'm a PhD in holistic nutrition myself, but I kept following the experts on biohacking to see if they came up with a new strategy or a compound or a supplement that may help me with my performance. So for example, I integrated L-carnosine in my daily regimen of supplements because I learned L-carnosine helps remove lactic acid from the muscles. I also started to use the Beamer after my gym workout, which is a PEMF device, to recover faster. I got a massage therapist once or twice a week to recover faster. And last but not least, I befriended my competition to see what they were doing to optimize their workouts in the gym. So when you have the team of experts and you add commitment and perseverance to that recipe of that team of experts, there's only one possible result. It's a big win. So the question is, what dream do you want and who do you need on your team? What are the experts that you need on your team? And you got to start making that list.
That's great information. Great information. You bring up biohacking, and there was just a big biohacking conference actually in Sunny Isles, just north of Miami. You were a keynote speaker there.
That's right.
So, and that's another thing you do is a lot of keynote speaking, which is how I met you at another conference. So what is biohacking? I mean, for people out there, what is that? And what does that represent? What does that mean?
Yeah, for me and you, it comes like a daily word, but most people still obviously are not educated really what it is. Well, it is a broad and amorphous term that basically covers a wide variety of activities
Hmm.
with the intent or the attempt to upgrade our brains, our bodies, and our human nature. So what we're trying to do is objectively reverse our biological age. That's what we're trying to do.
Okay, so what with the biohacking, how do you scale that? How do you scale it for what it is that you're looking for?
Yeah, good question. So I scale it with my mentees also. So first of all, and that's probably 90% of us, unfortunately, step number one is we need to regain control of our health. We need to balance our systems. We need to balance our body, and we need to resolve any pain or medical conditions that exist so we can be normal again. I hate to say
Hmm.
that normal, but a lot of people are below normal, right? So that
Hmm.
always has to be the first step. We got to get rid of it. Second step is now that we're normal, we want to optimize our health. In other words, we want to be fit. We want to be strong. We want to be vital. We want to be in control of our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. All right.
Hmm.
So that's kind of, where a lot of the athletes may be, right?
Hmm.
And then step number three is once we are in optimal health, that would be the ideal platform or foundation to maximize the benefits of biohacking, meaning now, we're in great shape, but let's now reverse our age and fight our chronological age so the 100 will become the new 30. And that's our goal.
That's fantastic. So are there different levels of biohacking?
Yes, there are. There's basically three levels of biohacking. First, there's biomodulators. Biomodulators are little things that create a slight shift or they modulate our body's functions. For example, light, movement, a healthy nutritional snack or diet, a high quality supplement, a cold bath, an infrared sauna session. Those basically create an adaptive response that makes our body just a little bit stronger. Okay. So
Okay.
those are biomodulators. Then you have bioenhancers. Bioenhancers are usually external substances. For example, bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, BHRT, when our hormone levels start dropping in our body, or stem cell based therapies when the quantity and quality of our stem cells starts declining in our body, both due to genetic programming. So these measures basically bring us beyond our genetic programming. Who wants to be crippled at 65, 70, right, Sean?
Hmm. That's right.
So that's number two. Number three is biotransformation. So this has more permanent impact and results. Examples are a pacemaker, a
Hmm.
bionic limb, which now operates at greater effectiveness and efficiency as our own biological limbs. We talked about Steve Austin last time, I
That's
believe,
right.
right? So bionic limbs, we're thinking about integrating or interfacing our brain with computers,
Hmm.
for example, Neuralink are the cochlear implants for kids with deafness, or computer chips in the brains of Parkinson's people to help them with their debilitating symptoms. And then we have genetic modifications, meaning trying to replace bad genes with good genes, and genetic engineering, which basically is the attempt to edit out all diseases. Now, if becoming a modern day cyborg is not your cup of tea, we can stick with biomodulation and bioenhancement and forget about biotransformation.
That is, yeah, that's great stuff. And in our industry, in our world right now, this is a really fast-moving technology, and this is a very fast-moving field. For anybody out there that hasn't heard the term biohacking, you will be, because this is a specialized field that's starting to make its way in the mainstream. And as people learn more and more and more about it, they're really starting to, dial into these types of conversations to meet experts like yourself, because everybody obviously wants to live longer, healthier, and live happier lives. And with that being said, with age, what are some of the aging accelerators. What is it that's out there that sort of speeds up our aging process?
Yeah, once you're interested in biohacking, you have to have a little bit of knowledge just so you know what you're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is useful to know what makes me age fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's objective things. The first thing we need to talk about is telomeres, and most people may have heard the term telomeres. Telomeres are the end caps of your chromosomes that protect your DNA in each and every cell, right? And upon each cell division, the telomere is not fully copied, so it loses some of its length. So when telomere sequencing is fully stopped, that's when then cell division can no longer happen, and that's when they call the cell a zombie cell because it's no longer functional. So in biohacking, we can actually, with a simple DNA sample, measure the length of a telomere, you know, to set a baseline, for example, then integrate some biohacking strategies, technologies, compounds, and measure it again. Because normal aging, the length of the telomere shortens. With biohacking, we're going to try to lengthen the telomeres, and we can objectively measure that, which is pretty awesome. So that's telomeres. Another thing is the field of epigenetics has clearly established that we have the power to manipulate and alter our inherited genetics by upregulating and downregulating our genetic expression. So our genes do not decide our fate. We do. It's important to understand that. And then there's all kinds of tools, Sean, to optimize mitochondrial function, which is another aging accelerator. Enzyme activity, because enzyme depletion is another aging accelerator. Cell death, we talked about that. And then stem cells, because you know the quantity and quality of stem cells declines, we can't repair anymore, and if we can't repair, everything degenerates, and that's when we're aging and falling apart. So there's many things we can do to keep our stem cell levels up, such as hyperbaric chamber, fasting, stem cell and exosome injections or infusions, shockwave therapy, and the list goes on.
And we just had a discussion. Our last discussion actually was on stem cells 101, and you ran a facility where you're the CEO working with stem cells. So you obviously know a lot about it. And I'm really happy you also brought up the fact that genes can be manipulated, or your genes aren't always the end result. You can still biohack those. Is that right?
Yes, and that's the science of epigenetics. If you never heard about it, Google EPI genetics, and it's been proven over and over again that yes, we can be predisposed to a certain condition or disease, but with one modification in our lifestyle, we can change that gene, and that would benefit our next 7 generations. You know,
I'm super happy you bring that up, and I'm super happy we're covering that, because I get so many people that have basically thrown in the towel and said, well, this is my gene, and this was such and such, and they just have shut it all down and given up all hope, and they're just, rolling
Sean,
up.
what an excuse. I tell them, what an excuse, what an excuse. And some of them believe it because the doctors tell them, right? Well, there's nothing we can do because it's in your family. You know what's in your family, Sean? You all have the same lifestyle. You all have the big, large cheese pizza, and you all have the same lifestyle. You grew up in the same environment, exposed to the same toxins, and that's why you have the same disease. And yes, you may have the same gene, but if you move out of the house and get a different lifestyle, you won't get that heart disease. You won't get that cancer. It can be controlled. I mean, they did many studies. You really got to look up epigenetics, not just with rats, but with humans. Identical twins, different lifestyle, different diseases. One perfectly, happy and healthy, and the other diseased as can be. Same genes, same parents, right? So we need to get rid of that excuse. Yes, there is a predisposition, correct, but you have the power to change that for you and your children.
Super happy you brought that up, and super happy we just drilled down on that, because I get that a lot. And one of the things I like to do with our videos is I like to do little short clips. That's definitely going to be a short clip.
I mean, even if they believe it, Sean, because like in weight loss, it says, well, genetics, and then it said genetics is responsible up to 20-30%. Okay, let's say that's true, which we already established it's not, but let's say that's true. That means you can control 70-80% of your weight So what if you're 300 pounds and you want to lose 100? That's only 33%, meaning you can control it. So still, you cannot use genetics as an excuse, because you can still control 70-80% of that.
That's awesome. That's right. So what are some of the enemies that we face in modern society in our daily living? What are some of the enemies that are out there that age us quicker, that can be detrimental to our health and that?
Yes, the enemies that cause the aging accelerators are what we call our biological stressors, right? So first of all, stress, right? And this doesn't need much explanation because everybody heard this before, but stress obviously affects us on all levels, whether that's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and even our stress-related hormones like cortisol have a detrimental chemical and physiological impact on our body. So, and we're all stressed, especially in a fast-paced society. But here's why, or here's what we need to do. We need to really get organized. We need to get control of our life, because control creates clarity. We're clear. If we're in control, we're clear what's coming. We're clear what's going on tomorrow. We're clear what's happening next week. So when we're organized, we create control. Control creates clarity, and clarity reduces or emits stress. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to put fires, because you're in control of your life. And everybody needs to start doing that. And I'm really working hard on the next book, because I always get, there's only so much time in a day, but I'm still trying to get it published before the end of December. And it's going to be called The Key to Your Success. Subtitle is Optimize Productivity and Focus, Free Up Valuable Time, and Live Stress-Free. And it's all tips and strategies on how we got to first, like we talked earlier, decide what we want to do, who we want to be, make a plan, make a strategy, surround yourself with the experts. But how do we organize ourselves on a daily basis? What do we do with our calendar? What do we do with the 40,000 messages and social media that bombards us every day? So how we get this organized, and that's what the book is about, is the tips and the strategies that you need to implement so you can maximize productivity, maximize your focus, get things done, and live a stress-free life, because you have control over your life. So that's stress. Number two, we talked about this before, toxemia, right? Toxemia is the amount of toxins that we get in our blood, and normally the body rids those toxins. But if we ingest or exposed to more toxins that a body can eliminate, then there's an accumulation of toxins in our body. And that's when things go wrong, because they cause free radical damage and systemic inflammation, which is the cause of all disease, even according to conventional medicine. So we need to do everything we can to reduce the intake and exposure to toxins from our man-made foods and drinks, environmental toxins, polluted air, polluted water, exhaust fumes, the cleaning products in our house, and now the EMR and EMF, electromagnetic frequencies and radiation, which we talked about. We need to do whatever we can to mitigate that, and simultaneously increase the nutrients that would fight free radical damage and repair DNA and fight systemic inflammation. And so we need to learn how to keep that toxemia in check. And then the third biological stressor, those are the three main ones, are nutrient deficiencies, right? Because nutrient deficiencies will cause disease and eventually death. So based on somebody's age and genetics and lifestyle and physical capacities and goals in life, we need to consume the right amount of minerals, vitamins, probiotics, enzymes, amino acids, keeping in mind their bioavailability and their effectiveness or their potency. So those are the three main biological stressors that we got to keep in check, because it's not about just trying to reverse age, it's stopping the aging and what's causing us to age, right? So we need to be aware of those things. Yeah.
Right. So what are some of the biohacking strategies that you would look at?
Well, yeah, in general, I think we'll go specific later, but in general, just like anything in health, we need to look at the body as a whole. So we need to biohack different systems, because it will synergize, right? And so first of all, we need to biohack our cells and our organs to reverse aging or slow down aging and to increase functional capacity of those organs so we can prevent cell death and organ dysfunction. Then, of course, sleep. We talked about sleep probably every podcast because it's overlooked. Sleep is where our body regenerates, repairs, and renews. So sleep always will be very important. If you don't sleep, you are a poor copy of yourself the next day, and even a poorer copy of yourself the day after. And it's a vicious circle down with degeneration, disease, and cancer. So sleep is an easy way to stay healthy. The other thing is we really, we just talked about production and focus. We need to really start biohacking our brain, especially in this fast-paced society with everything going on. Our brain isn't designed for that. It's only designed to run from that sable tiger, right? It's not designed to deal with all this input of information and social media. So we need to upgrade our brain and our nervous system. We need to also upgrade our nutritional intake. We need to realize that movement is key, not necessarily going to the gym or playing organized sports, but movement, because movement is important for our circulatory system, but also our lymphatic system, because we learned during the immune system podcast that our lymphatic system is our immune system or part of our immune system. So movement becomes important. Lean muscle mass, everybody knows lean muscle mass, obviously, will get you a better physical performance, but most people don't realize how lean muscle mass has many other health boosting benefits. And then lastly, DNA repair. We need to do what we can to repair our DNA. We talked about it during our EMR podcast, Sean, but to give a quick recap, we have an innate repair system. But in most people, it doesn't work because it needs fuel, and the fuel is NAD+. So we need to make sure we have enough NAD+ in our system. So we need to, live a low EMR lifestyle. We need to sleep enough. We need to take precursors to NAD+, which is tryptophan, but mostly niacin. And we obviously also can take NAD+ as a supplement or get an infusion, etc. So those are the systems, the different things that we need to do and biohack each one so we have that accumulative synergistic effect and approach our body as a whole.
So what are some of the biohacking compounds? What would be some of the compounds you would use in biohacking?
Yeah, there's like hundreds and hundreds, right? But let me go over a few popular ones today, or the ones that I can think of. Moringa. Most people heard about moringa. It's a superfruit that is loaded with vitamins and antioxidants. So that would be good. You can grow it in your own yard, even if you wanted to. Stacks, which is 13 activating compounds. And they basically promote genetic expression. In other words, slow down aging. It's good for longevity. Peptides. Everybody's talking about peptides. Well, peptides can be injected. There's different types of peptides, but they can optimize mitochondrial function, longevity, what else? Deep sleep, energy, and also even joint health, right? Helps with joint health, rebuilding your joints. Then we have the thymus, or the thymus gland would be a good compound to take because it produces T cells. T cells important for an immune system. So the thymus will help with a strong immune system. I mentioned L-carnosine, especially for athletes also, because it helps remove lactic acid from the muscles. One of the top ones I can think of now is urolithin A, because urolithin A is basically produced by our gut bacteria when they transform tannins from pomegranate. And so research shows clearly that urolithin A helps maximize mitochondrial function. Remember, that's an aging accelerator, right? Movement, endurance, grip strength, and longevity, all right? Research even shows, and I know this because I looked it up myself, because I have I have some amyloid plaques in my brain that I need to control. Nobody knows where they come from, but they're there and they don't affect me yet. But urolithin A has shown in research to help with amyloid plaques, with neurotoxicities and colon cancer, right? So that's a good one. Then we have C60. You probably know C60 yourself, Sean, because the anti-aging bed company you're affiliated with, they have these sauces, and one of them is C60, right? So you have C60 and also spermidine. They're known to promote longevity. So this is a very strong anti-aging compound. A few more. Astaxanthin, again, very good for the immune system.
Mhm.
Epigenin preserves NAD+. So again, DNA repair, epigenin becomes important to preserve NAD+. And the last one, let's go for another brain biohacker. Biocitroid is a patent-pending terpene extracted from the specific type of blood orange or citrus fruit in the rainforest in Southeast Asia. And biocitroid has shown at 30 milligrams or higher to be able to enter the blood-brain barrier within 30 minutes. So they combined it in a product with 3 other neuroagents, L-tryptophan, phenylalanine, and phosphatidylate. Phosphatidylate important because it stimulates nerve growth factor. So if you want more neural connections, expand your brain, better neurotransmission, phosphatidylate is important. So this product, Focus Plus, has those 4 components in it, works within 30 minutes, and you have a clear focus. You're in the zone. It balances the 5 intelligence hormones, because most of them have a dopamine overload, which unbalances the 5 intelligence hormones. So by taking this supplement, you balance the hormones, you get in the zone. Very good for focus, homework, projects, working, athletes, and sports. So I've been taking that because unlike Adderall or any other smart drug, it's 100% safe, no side effects, etc. I'm not sure, but for your listeners, they could check out the following website, because sometimes they have free samples on this one. It's trysmartpill.com, T-R-Y-smart, S-M-A-R-T, pill, P-I-L.com. Sometimes they give away free samples, and then you'll know if it works for you or not. But so there's a wide variety of compounds that are scientifically or by research have shown to have these effects. So it comes to us, the coaches and mentors in biohacking, to see where you are, regain control of your health, right?
Mhm.
Then optimize your health, and then implement certain strategies with or without certain compounds to get the results that are desired for you individually.
Fantastic information. Now, we're going to get into this a little bit later, but you're doing one-on-one 20-minute consultations off of biohackingunlimited.com.
Yes, so what I'm doing is to reach a bigger audience and help more people is, again, as you know, Sean, after COVID, I got excited again about speaking, and that's how we met. But I'm doing more and more speaking engagements. And then at those engagements, I'm doing a lot more podcasts too. So then I basically, try to get mentees or people that need to be mentored and guided, not just in health, because we'll assess where their health is and then what their goals are. And I'll be a relentless coach that is very accountable and tell you what to do and make sure you reach your goals. That's my job, to write you in the right direction and make sure you reach your goals. But even on a business platform, I have a few mentees. Not that I know their business necessarily, because they may have an insurance business or an automobile business, and I wouldn't be able to talk to that specific type of business. But what I do is I make sure they have the right culture, the right mission. They're focused on their goals. They have the right employees, because people don't fire people enough. That they, and keep them accountable for reaching those goals and their deadlines, and cleaning up their business and staying focused on certain aspects of their business. So that's what I do. That's what I love to do. So usually, yes, I have a 20-minute free Zoom call that you can schedule right there on my calendar on my website. And during that Zoom call, we basically see, what is it that you want to achieve health-wise, or in your personal life, or even business-wise. And then I'll let them know if I can help them or not, and put them in one of my 3 or 4 mentorship programs. So for people who are interested, just go to my website, biohackingunlimited.com, or MVT, Mike Van Thielen, mvtonline.com, same website, by the way.
Okay. Fantastic. That's great information. It's such a great service because, people have seen the videos. I think this is our 5th or 6th one. We've covered some great subjects. But to get some one-on-one time with you and say, hey, here's what's going on specifically with me, and be able to get that time is invaluable. And I know we're doing that now. And I know with where this is going with biohacking, with your area of expertise, this more than likely is not something you'll be able to do, for an extended period of time. Perhaps you will, but for this time frame right now, for anybody watching it that wants to get that one-on-one time and speak with Dr. Mike and say, here's specifically what's going on with me, and get something that's really tuned in and dialed into their specific needs, that is an invaluable service. And actually, Dr. Mike, I'll be on there and I'll be signed up because I could definitely use the help as well.
Yeah, sounds good. And I just want to let them know too, I don't have my own products or my own technologies. I'm not selling anything. The only thing that's, if you go to my shop here page, it's not my stuff. It's only things that I bought and use myself. I'll
Right.
never recommend any strategy, any supplement, any compound, any technology that I'm not using myself right now or had success with in the past when I was going through the same things that my clients are. So I think that's important to know.
It is. And you've got so many PhDs. I mean, I'm kind of skipping over because we've done so many videos, but you've got such a fantastic resume of knowledge. And you mentioned earlier the PhD in holistic nutrition, and obviously now an expert in the biohacking. And so this is an exciting field. There's a lot of great stuff that's starting to be introduced. Tell us about some of the biohacking technologies.
Yeah, I mean, they're popping up here and there. And, luckily I already have, two people helping me with this business. One of them is my good friend, Donald Bass. He was actually my vice president when I was the CEO of the stem cell company we had until COVID started. But he's my R&D, research and development, because I go to conferences, I take him with me. And so his job is to go to every booth and see what's out there, right? Because I got to keep up to date on everything that's out there.
Mhm.
And then he's got to ask questions, do more research, and decide for me whether or not this is something, number one, I should try or we should try.
Mhm.
And then when we try it and it works, then we can add it to our repertoire of tools that we can offer to our clients. But of course, there's also things that that the research really doesn't back it up, and it looks or sounds a little bit hokey, or we thought it was good and we tried it and we didn't feel a difference. So so I have help already in that aspect, because we only want the best for our clients, and we only do it after we do our research, we think it's good, and after we use it ourselves. So that's exactly what happened. But to mention some of those modalities, we can keep it with the ones people know. Again, stem cells injections, stem cell infusions, exosome infusions, shockwave therapy is overlooked most of the time, but it stimulates stem cells, gets rid of inflammation, can be used for systemic conditions also, especially in that phase 1-2, where we need to still get rid of pain and medical conditions, right? Get you back to normal. Hyperbaric oxygen, I got my own unit here at the house. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy increases stem cells after like 40 sessions drastically, increases telomere length. So every time you go into a hyperbaric oxygen chamber, you're reversing your biological age scientifically. We can talk about bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, cold therapy or cryotherapy. We got PEMFs, which are pulsed electromagnetic frequencies, which are frequencies that are healing to the body. We got harmful frequencies, usually the man-made ones from our Bluetooth devices and cell phones and microphones and smart appliances. And we got healing frequencies, right? That resonate, with Mother Nature and that heal us. So you got lots of those technologies out there now. We got hydrogen water. I got a unit here that infuses. Not first of all, it cleans my water like most units do, but it infuses it with hydrogen gas, and then it has an outlet so the oxygen can escape, so it can bind again and form water, because then you didn't do anything, you transformed water back into water, right? But if you go to hydrogenstudies.com, you can actually put your medical disease or condition into the search bar and you will get all the research. It's amazing what 2 weeks of hydrogen water can do for many people. So again, it works for me, it works for people I gave it to. So yes, I promote it, hydrogen water. And then there's all brain things we can use. We just talked about Focus Plus, that supplement that really does good in getting you back into the zone. But there's also devices like Brain Tap. I just am trying. It had great research behind it. It came from the Miami Congress a few weeks ago. I already purchased it. It's called New Calm. And a lot of top athletes apparently are using it. So I'm checking it out now. And if it works for me, I'll recommend it to patients. And then you got Vibrogenics. There's many vibration platforms, but Vibrogenics is one that really has the research that your whole body is vibrating, even your brain cells are vibrating, which is good because it's movement, it's lymphatic, it's energy and frequency. And so the list goes on and on, Sean, of modalities and things that are out there that can help us not only get healthier, but reverse our biological age and regain our physical superpowers that we used to have when we were 20.
That's awesome. That's great stuff. And, one of the questions I was going to ask you is how do we know it all works? But it's obvious that because you're hands-on with every piece of technology, with all of the anything related to the diet, vitamins, all that, it's all stuff that you are doing firsthand. But is there anything else you'd like to add on that?
Yeah, because again, this is a fast emergent field. I wouldn't say of medicine because we're not poisoning people with drugs or cutting out essential organs with surgeries. So the word medicine has a weird taste in my mouth as it is. This is health, this is healing, this is being happy, this is maximum potential, this is biohacking, this is living, this is feeling energy, this is not being fatigued, this is being fit, strong, and vital. This is what we're talking about. We're not talking about medicine. That's something totally different, Sean. But you always have people that want proof, right? So what better proof than taking an objective test before and after? We already talked about the telomeres. We can do a telomere length test before you and I start, and then in 6 months or a year, we do it again, right? And hopefully your telomeres lengthened, which means you actually get younger. And the test will tell you how many years you got younger. Wow. So that's an objective test. We can do genetic testing. Did that predisposed gene with our lifestyle modifications, is it gone? Is it different? We can change that, okay? So we can also measure it. We can do epigenetic testing. We can do gut biome testing. I have a lot of people that contact me with, digestive problems, Crohn's disease, celiac disease, irritable bowel syndrome. It's all the same, Sean. Our gut, as you know, is part of the immune system, but we have all these digestive problems. There's 2 simple solutions. I'm giving it away for free, even though they should hire me as a mentor. Number 1, you got to stop food combining, right? Because when we combine certain foods, our stomach gets upset because each food group needs different enzymes and a different acidity. So, for example, carbohydrates and proteins, a spaghetti with meatballs, or a meat sandwich, a sub, or a steak with fries or potatoes, protein, carbs, we eat it at the same time. What happens is if our body or our digestive system wants to digest protein, it needs a certain acidity in the stomach, which is different than for the carbs. It also needs a different enzyme. For proteins, it's pepsin. For carbohydrates, it's amylase. So now the body doesn't know what to do. So they're going to say, what? Let's do the protein first and we'll have the carbs wait. But it takes 4 to 6 hours for the steak to digest. So by this time, the carbs are doing what? They're fermenting, they're rotting, they're giving toxins. And so that's acid reflux, that's indigestion, that's heartburn, that's stomach ulcers, and that's stomach cancer, and that's leaky gut, and that's irritable bowel, and that's Crohn's disease, and it goes on and on. Because nobody tells them, if you just stop doing that, in 2 weeks, you don't have these problems. Instead, they give you the Nexium pill, and they cut out your stomach ulcer, and you're just masking symptoms, but the problem gets worse and worse and evolves, right? So that's number 1. Number 2, and this is just an example, number 2, that hydrogen water I just talked about. You put in any gut health problem in that search bar, and the research will be popping up. And I've tested on a few people. So within 2 weeks, somebody that's dairy intolerant or gluten intolerant, they can eat gluten and dairy again in just 2 weeks. Why? Because what most people do is, you need probiotics. You need to change your diet. When you get Crohn's disease, celiac, the doctor will give you a diet. Yes, I mean, it doesn't hurt to get a better diet, but the problem is it's not necessarily that. The problem is that your gut's environment does not promote, healthy bacteria colonies. And that has to do with the electrical potential. So our gut needs to be at minus 300 millivolts or higher in order for anaerobic bacteria, which are a good bacteria, to colonize. So if it's not, even if you put good bacteria in there, they can't colonize.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do as much sauerkraut and dill pickles and kombucha and kimchi and probiotic supplements as you want. They won't survive because the environment is not ready for them to colonize. So the hydrogen water in 2 weeks brings the potential at minus 300 or even 400, which allows your better diet and your probiotics to start a healthy culture, and then suddenly all those things go away. And that's just one example.
Yeah, and actually, I saw a video that you did with some other doctors, and I think some of the people involved in that hydrogen water technology. And that's what gets me excited, is seeing stuff like that I've not seen before, that's out there, and then learning about those types of benefits that this type of technology is providing. And that's why I love getting together with you, because you're really on the cutting edge of a lot of this technology, and really doing a great job helping to bring it out to the public. So hydrogen water is an exciting thing, and thank you for all the work that you're doing on that. So how do we get started? Where's a starting point for us if we're out there watching this? How does the average person watching this video get started?
Yeah, I mean, the simplest approach again, is like, get a Zoom call with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna see where you are, where you are in what I call, regaining your superpowers, even if it's health, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the 20-minute Zoom call, we'll see, are you step number one, meaning do you have excess weight? Are you fatigued? Are you diagnosed with any disease? Do you have irritable bowel? Do you have migraine headaches? So step number one, are you there? If so, we need to get rid of that first before we start biohacking and thinking about getting younger. When your body is trying to put out fires and dealing with a disease state, you're not going to be Superman, period, right? So let's fix that first, and we can do that, right? Or are you healthy and you're not going to the doctor and you're not taking any medications and you're exercising a little bit, but you just feel like, hey, I'm getting a day older, I can't keep up with my grandkids, I need Dr. Mike's help. Maybe you're in step number one. We don't need to get you back to normal, but we need to optimize your health, right? And that's where biomodulation and bioenhancement start taking place, where we need to get you fit and strong and vital. So when you come from work, you have the energy to play with those grandkids, or you have the energy to go for a run versus like, oh, I'm exhausted and plump in front of the TV. So that's step number two. And then step number three is, once you're there, oh, let's biohack now. Let's become superhuman, right? Let's do the body, the brain. Let's focus on your business. Let's get your personal life better and in place, and et cetera, et cetera. So during the Zoom call, we identify where you are and where we're going to start you. And that could be health, business, or personal life. And then I suggest a certain mentorship program, and we'll go from there. And so people can check out, my mentorship programs and learn more about them on my website also. Again, biohackingunlimited.com. They can schedule the Zoom call right there and then on my calendar, and that will be a good start.
That's a great start. And I'm going to have all this information on the video. It's all down in the description section of the video. So anybody watching it, just go down there, click on the link. You can get in there and schedule that. So Dr. Mike, a couple of things, just going back through what we're talking about. We're talking about slowing down the age process, but when you start talking about regrowing telomeres, you're actually age reversing. Is that right?
That is 100% correct, and it can be objectively measured, right? And it's our biological age. So most people, actually, their biological age is higher than their chronological age because they've been worning themselves out. They've been working, they've been stressed, especially business people that never go home and travel the world, and they eat unhealthy. They may be 60 years old, but their biological age and their telomere length show they're 75. So they're not going to last too long, right? And so you can establish, we all know our chronological age, look at your birth certificate and do the math, right? But our biological age, we don't know. So we can establish that with simple tests. And then we need to reverse that. So 100 becomes the new 30. That's my goal. Meaning, yes, we're 100, but we don't feel 100. And we can do what we did when we were 30 years old. Yes, we can go skiing. Yes, we can go out there and go for a swim. We can go on a vacation that requires a hike. That's the idea, because biologically, we function as a 30-year-old, even though we may be 75, 85, 90 years old. And Sean, it sounds too good to be true, but science fiction has become science fact. People are doing it, and they can objectively show their test results, and they are doing things that a normal 65, 70-year-old couldn't do. And so that's available to us right now.
And I love the fact that we're talking about that. And one thing that I kind of want to touch on as well, because you bring up so many good points. The channel that I've got is USA MedBed, right? We talk about med beds, and I don't know if you're familiar with some of the technology talking about,
Sure.
that's
I sleep on it.
right, exactly right. That's exactly right. And there's a lot of people out there that are waiting for these very high-end med beds that come from various programs. But the thing that I always like to tell people is the technology is available right now. Like with the stuff that you're talking about, we're talking about age reversal, we're talking about all these things. It's the technology is out there now, and there's a lot of technology that's out there. But the key thing about this terminology with med beds and waiting for the med beds and all that, it doesn't matter if your lifestyle doesn't change. If you're still, let's just say theoretically the med bed dropped out of the sky, they're supposed to be released, you got into a med bed. If you get out of the med bed and you're still eating the meatball sandwich with all the different things, and you're putting yourself in that position, you're really not achieving fitness and health the way you should be. This is the type of fitness and goals right now that are out there that can help you with your health, that can help with reversing age, slowing down the aging process. This is what you need to embrace, and this is the type of technology and the type of information that you need to start working with, and begin today. Like, get off this video right now and go sign up and get these, because ultimately you need to maintain good, healthy lifestyle, and you've got all this information. But if you're not doing that, you're just always susceptible to having breakdowns, problems, and all different types of health issues, which you're obviously very familiar with. So, what would you say about all that?
Well, yeah, remember what Tesla said, right? There's three healing properties: energy, frequency, and vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And the med bed, they're working on it right now. They're putting all those three together in
Mm-hmm.
one piece of equipment, right? But we have those three separately. So, why wait? You want to start healing now.
That's
so
right.
we got frequency technologies. We got the Tesla devices and the Tesla ones, even vibrogenics, and even the hydrogen water. With the hydrogen water, you can get an app and you can add any frequency to that water. So that exists right now. So you can add frequency to your water. You can add frequency to vibration plate. You can add frequencies to your bed cover that we're sleeping on, Sean, because I know you're sleeping on it too.
That's
right. Frequency, vibration. We got our vibration plates. We got our mini trampolines. We got vibration, right? Mm-hmm. And energy. Energy, of course, comes from good fuel, but and energy. So we have those three components of the med bed. Just get them all three separately. We don't need it nicely packaged yet. It's available now. Let's right. go.
That's exactly right. And that's always the thing. It's available right now. The technology is out there now. So thank you so much for clarifying that and really presenting that in a way, especially with the hydrogen water and a lot of these things that you're very, very deep into, and really helping to kind of get that information out to the general public. So with that being said, for anybody watching us today, do you have anything special that you'd like to offer to listeners? Anything
well, no, again, as long as I can, I'll keep doing the 20-minute free Zoom calls. So that's what I urge you to get the most. We talked about the Focus Plus. I think they still have samples left for free at trysmartpill.com. What else? On my website, there's a shop here link. Again, I don't sell anything. I just buy. Right. To biohack myself. I don't have my own supplements or products or technologies, but on that shop here, you'll see links to companies and products that I use myself. Mm-hmm. And so you can find the hydrogen water there. You can find the hyperbaric oxygen. You can find the anti-aging bed cover. Mm-hmm. You can find some free stuff there. Like I follow Troy Casey, for those who know him. He's good in breath work and movement and Qigong. He's got a YouTube channel, so you basically can go on for free and kind of start learning those important basic breathing and movement techniques. And so check out my resource pages on electromagnetic radiation frequency. That's all free. Everything's free. And you can buy things that I buy basically, and you probably get a 10-15% discount or something like that. So
your website is a great resource. It has all those products on there. Troy Casey is really a role model. I'm in my 50s, and Troy Casey, that guy he's like you. He's in very high end, very, very, very good condition.
Yeah, well, his last book was called Ripped at 50, and he
That's
was
right.
indeed ripped with a nice six-pack, right? So that's his
right.
new book. He used to be a male model in Milan, in Italy.
Yeah, he worked with all the biggest brands too, Calvin Klein, everybody, because he lived out of LA for a while before. I believe he's out in Sedona right now.
Yes,
but he was exposed to a lot of the toxic stuff in there, and he was hip enough to know this is not right, and there's stuff going on, and he was able to identify it and sort of deal with it. But Troy Casey is a great role model, and a lot of great information there. And his book Ripped at 50, I know that Anti-Aging Bet, I know that there's places that you can get that. But before we sign off, because if we're in this subject, and I'm just sharing a personal conversation that we had earlier, you're going back after some more world records in swimming, and I love that. And you're basically doing it on short notice with some world competition coming up next year. Before we sign off, you have to just give us a little bit of background on that. Let us know what you're up to, because I'm gonna
try it differently, right? So I swam from I was 8 till 24 years old in Belgium. Pretty good, some records and some titles. But then I took a 22-year break, started to start swimming again in 2016, which was that other unfair advantage that I took, and then swam a world record in 2019. And then I thought, well, I'm going to take a little break and keep training because the World Championships are coming up. But then COVID came, and so there were no World Championships. The Olympic Games, as everybody knows, were postponed too. And so I stopped swimming because I can't keep training without a purpose or without a goal or without a date. And so I've not been swimming for basically 3 years, which is a long time. And so 2 weeks ago, they announced that the World Championships now are in Japan in August of 2023, which is only 10 months away. Now, that's really not enough for me to get in the shape that I need to be because I've not been swimming. But most of my competition, and I looked it up, it's a Brazilian, a German, another American, and somebody from Luxembourg, but they have been swimming, so they're already there at that level. So I got 10 months to catch up and challenge them and come out of the left corner, right? But those people really love swimming, and they swim every day. I can't. I hope I can swim 3 times a week for an hour and go to the gym. So I need to compensate a different way, and that's biohacking. I need to do something differently and hope that I can get to that level and beat them in 10 months, not by swimming more because it's impossible. I'll be swimming less, but by doing hyperbaric oxygen, stem cells, shockwave therapy, all these supplements that we talked about, and see if I can get myself, because it's the 50+ age group, Sean. So what if I'm chronologically 50, but I can get myself to 40? I think I got an advantage, right?
I think you absolutely have an advantage. And I'm going to be tracking your progress as we go. And that's exciting because, that's to still be out there doing that at your age, at our age, is phenomenal. And why should age have anything to do with it? If the passion is there, right, which we talked about starting off the call, and your heart's into it, you're passionate, and you've got those goals, go get them.
Plus, I got to be a product of my own product, right? If I can show I can do it, then I can show you how you could do it. I mean, that's the way it is.
That's awesome. That's what I love. Well, Dr. Mike, thank you once again for taking the time today. Fantastic conversation about biohacking and what biohacking is, how it works, some of the technology that's out there. And once again, I'm going to have the website down below, Biohacking Unlimited. Take advantage of scheduling that consultation with Dr. Mike while he's available, because I can tell you that's not going to last for a real long time. I know where you're going, because there's more and more conferences, more and more bookings, more and more information. And right now, biohacking hasn't really hit the mainstream, but it is about to. And you're definitely one of the pioneers that's bringing it out to the public. So, Dr. Mike, thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you so much for taking the time with us. Thank you so much for everything you're doing right now to make people put them in a position where they can live healthier and happier lives. And with that said, thank you. And if there's anything else you want to say, go ahead. But
yeah, I just want to thank you, Sean, too. I mean, I know you praise me, but I gotta praise people like you too, because yes, we do the research, we have something, but it's people like you that take the time to share it with their audience and do whatever you can to increase your audiences, because without audiences, we can't help people. So this is a collaborative effort. This is teamwork, and I appreciate you very much.
God bless you, sir. I will look forward to talking to you again very soon. Have a great weekend, and we'll catch up again on another video here within the next week or two.
Sounds good.
All right, take care.